to turn my brain off this summer, if you couldn't tell already. I think it's gonna look so cool. Hello, welcome back to my channel, Knits by Mandy. My name is Amanda, and today I'm sharing with you my summer knitting inspiration. I didn't think I was even going to make one of these videos because for the past few weeks, I've been in a creative rut. I talked about this in my last video, but I've been really busy with work and just not feeling like I've been having the time to really think about my knitting really in depth and kind of do that in-depth thinking that you want to do when you're planning ahead for the next season. However, things have slowed down at work. I got to spend last week at home in Pittsburgh with my family, which is always a really relaxing and restorative time. And I even got to buy some new yarns while I was there. So I'm feeling a new fresh burst of creative energy, thank goodness. It eventually comes back, right? And I'm really excited to share with you what I'm planning on making this season. If you've watched my inspiration videos before, I often like to talk about things. I have a general plan about making or mention other patterns that I've been thinking about, but that didn't maybe make the cut or won't end up making the cut. But with that, I have some swatches today. I was a very good knitter, and I will show you the yarns that I'm intending on using, as well as talk about the patterns. Most of the top patterns that I will be talking about are DK weight patterns, and then I have my dress pattern that I've selected since my last inspiration video that I can talk about as well. Some of these things may seem familiar to you if you've been around on my channel, but I know that these inspiration videos tend to get a little bit more reach, so there might be a little bit of redundancy here. So with that, let's get started. I want to talk about the first item, which is a yarn that was included in my last video, but I remember not feeling very sure about what I wanted to do with that. That is this cotton from Terrapin Fiberworks. This is in the colorway Fennel. The swatch is a little wet right now. I think this is the only swatch that I went ahead and blocked this morning. So it's a little wet. You're not getting the whole drape, but it's this gorgeous grello color, this bright green with some yellow undertones, and it's just in her regular cotton base. Ever since I've gotten this yarn, I've been on a quest to find the perfect DK tank top as per my specifications, and it almost came to a point where I thought I was just gonna have to design one myself, which I'm not against doing, but just given how not creative I've been feeling lately, that's not really like the first thing that I wanted to do. So I was in a rabbit hole, of course, of the Ravelry deep searches, and I think I found one that fit my needs. A few things that I was looking for was something that was bra friendly, so it wouldn't show either my bra from this side or from my bra straps, and something that I wanted to be able to work on a Zoom call or wear on Zoom calls. So for example, this spaghetti tank top dress, I probably wouldn't wear on a Zoom call by itself. I just throw a button up over it, but I kind of want the option to wear things where I feel just like a little more covered in a work virtual environment, and I feel like having it in a fun color is great too. So no bra showing. I wanted a bit more of a square or more of a rounded lower neck, maybe scoop. I don't know if that's the right word, not like a true scoop, but not something high necked. I've been seeing a lot of high neck silhouettes in recent patterns, and I honestly own a lot of cotton store-bought tank tops like that, but I don't think that that's for me when it comes to a summer knit garment, because with the way and how much lighter like store-bought fabric is, that's okay. But once I have knit and I knew it was going to be DK, I just felt like that's not going to be super comfortable. So I wanted a little breathing room for this area, but of course nothing maybe this low that I wouldn't necessarily wear by itself for a work call. The carden top by Barocco Designs. This was something I just found on Ravelry. It is a kind of a more muscle tank. It has wider straps and a more circular neck and a kind of a boxy fit. And this is something that I felt fit my needs very well. It also has a crochet picot edging, which I'm not sure if I'll do yet, but that was another thing that I was looking for. And this is just a personal pet peeve of mine, is when summer tops don't have any kind of finishing on the edges. And the tops just have the rolled edge. And that's a pet peeve because I've made tops like that. They end up not looking as nice over time, and I just personally don't like it, and I would like to have just a finished edge. And so yes, in some cases you could just add one, but I think in others I would worry that it would kind of interfere with how the garment was structured. It wasn't accounting for having to pick up stitches or add. So I'd like that with a pattern baked in. Again, I want to turn my brain off this summer if you couldn't tell already. So I thought this would be a good option. This comes in 10 sizes and it ranges from a 33.5-inch bust to a 70-inch bust. So I thought that was pretty great. So this I felt fitted my very specific list of things that I wanted for a tank top, and I'm very excited about it. And I do have a Ravelry bundle with other tops that I found in the process that I liked, but maybe weren't a great fit for what I'm looking for this season, and I will link that down below, as well as a Ravelry bundle with all of the patterns that I talk about today. All right, so moving on from the very, very exciting fennel to another Terrapin Fiberworks yarn. I'm not sure if I talked about this in another video, but I bought this yarn the same time that I bought the fennel, and this is from the Terrapin Fiberworks Farmers Market collection, and this is in the colorway, this is in the colorway Onion. It is a white colorway with pink and maroon speckles, and it's a little different. I don't like love a speckled yarn. I don't go gaga for it the way some others do, which is like totally personal choice. But this one captivated me because I really just like the kind of subtle pink throughout there. And I think I was just caught up with the name of Onion, and I really, really like that. So I purchased this yarn, and this one I was like, oh, I hope I end up liking it because I know I've worked with primarily white yarns in the past with speckles and I didn't like it. But I think I'll end up really liking this one because of the pattern that I chose. So originally I was thinking that I wanted to make the one that I want crop by, I believe it's Lily Kate Makes, which is this really cute tight fitting garter stitch crop top that you make widthwise. So you knit it kind of like around this way instead of top to bottom or bottom to top. And it's really, really cute. But then I was like, I don't know if this yarn is, oh, hello. I said, I don't know if this yarn is the best option because it is cotton and linen, and I think that to do service to the fabric, I should give the linen and cotton room to drape. And if maybe I want to make you're the one that I want crop, I would go for a cotton merino, something that has just a little bit of memory for something tight fitting. Because over the few years I've been knitting, I found that if you try to make something tight fitting with cotton, like it will eventually just kind of like grow and sag, which is fine. So why not let cotton do or linen do what it wants to do, which is flow and drape. Enter the Cora top by Simone Alexandra, aka Temple of Knit. This is a really basic crop top pattern that comes in 9 sizes from 30.5 inches to 56.2 inches. 0.2. That's interesting. I hope I wrote that down correctly. And this kind of reminds me of the June top by Petite Knit. It is a little more expansive in sizes. I did notice that in looking for summer patterns, finding things that go up to the full 60-inch bust is extremely difficult. So that's just a note here that not all of these fully go up to a 60-inch. If you are interested in more size-inclusive knitting patterns, definitely check out Knitted by Whitney's size-inclusive summer roundup video. Check out that video if you want even more pattern inspiration. Okay, so this is a pretty basic top. The 2 things that stood out to me in the pattern description page that I liked were that it was A-line, so it kind of flows out, and that there's room in the pattern for you to make your own modifications alterations to make sure that the garment fits you. So not much to say about this one. I think it'll be a closet staple. And in the past, when I've gotten more kind of fun or variegated yarns, I definitely want to do something more simple just to make sure the yarn can speak for itself, and any texture and color aren't competing in the garment. So that was my thought process around making sure Onion by Terrapin Fiber works well for me. And we'll put that aside. I hope you'll notice that I am inspired by a lot of color this season, and I'm really excited to show you all of the colorful things that I have in store. I think after making my scrappy pillow project, it really like bit me with not only just like the color bug, but the color like explosion bug. I'm really excited about these next few yarns I have to show you. Okay. Moving on to two more tank tops. You also might notice that I don't have any t-shirts. And that's just because I have a lot of DK yarns and I don't think a knit t-shirt is going to be great for the summer for me. I think that might be a good transitional garment, but where I live, it's just like not going to get worn until the more, I don't want to say cooled months, but the cooler months. So I'm only thinking about sleeveless tops right now. I'm excited to show you these colorful yarns, and we'll start with this one. When I was home, I went to Moon and Yarn Craft Room in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Woot woot. It's a brand new store, and I went there on a whim. I wasn't following the owner on Instagram, but she's a pretty decent, like, she's a bigger following than me on Instagram. I have some footage that I'll share in my next podcast episode, but anyway, it was a lovely store, lovely time, and I thought that really helped me like kind of get the creative juices again, just seeing new items. It was such a beautifully decorated store, and it's really new. So for a while I didn't have a store to go visit when I was home other than the big box store, so I'm very excited to have that there. Okay, the first yarn that I got was the Concept by Katia Summer Tweed Degrade. Was that how you say that? I don't speak French. I was just really excited by these colors. I thought it was really fun, and I knew that something like this would make me excited again. So I have it swatched up, and as you can see, you can see the tail ends here. It started out with some blue, and then it kind of gets into green on the way up here. What I think I'm going to do is either alternate this frequently with the second ball of yarn that I have, or I'll completely just make little balls of yarn depending on where the color changes are, because instead of wider stripes, I'd like to have kind of more frequent color changes. I think that just fits my style better. So that's my plan for just like the yarn itself. I knew that's what I wanted to do. First top that I'm thinking of is the tie top by Hannah Singleton. This comes in 9 sizes, and it's given by chest width and not circumference because it is a backless top, and the widths vary from 14.5 inches to 30.5 inches. It's more of a high-necked tank top, and then it has 2 ties that tie at the small of your back, leaving a really like kind of sexy, cute open back detail. What I don't like about this pattern is that there aren't any finishing trims, which theoretically I could add, but I wonder if an I-cord would make things a little too tight up top. However, I really like this pattern, and I think this would be kind of like the funner, sexier going out top route. And if I didn't want to go this route, the other top that I seen is the Soul Top by Rose Knitwear. And this is a square neck tank top that has straps going this way. If you've seen like the pie camisole, it looks like that. And then it also has these really kind of like thick trimming on the straps and on the collar, which piques my interest because usually this area of my knits in the summer, that gets obviously the highest friction and the most wear, and I wonder if having something thicker there would just keep it looking nicer for longer. It could have maybe a reverse effect where it's bigger so you see more. But that's a thought that I had, and I thought that that would be nice. Full top comes in 8 sizes, and it's 28 to a 58-inch bust circumference. Both of these are exciting to me, and I also think that the color striping would look better on the sole top than it would on the tie top, the tie tank. I'm kind of conflicted. I would love to see what you think and maybe what you would knit with this yarn instead. So that is the Katia Summer Tweed in the kind of ombre color effect, and I'm really excited about it. Next yarn in pattern combination is probably the one that I'm most excited about. Picking favorites feels wrong, but here we are, I'm being honest. And this is the second thing that I got from the Moon and Yarn craft room, and this is Creative Make It Tweed. And it's a tweed knit in thread. So this is by Rico Design, which I believe is an Italian company. I'm just reading the back of the label because this is not something that is well known to me, but it's this really beautiful kind of 2-strand tweedy thread, and it's 35% viscose, 35% acrylic, and 30% polyamide, and 50 grams gets you 445 meters, which is really nice. So I saw this, and I think I saw Tiffany Lou have this in a video a while ago, and I was like, I have to snatch that up because I know it's hard to find, and I think it'd be really fun. This was only $8, and I got 2 of them, so that was awesome. And I did get this little cute, where'd it go? I got this really cute stitch marker from them as well. Look how cute. Okay, so I talked about this pattern in my last video, but I'm talking about it again because I really want to make it. That is the Vacation Vest by Park Williams, aka Park and Knit. And it's this really easy breezy double clasp vest that's great for the summer. I had originally seen a Madewell top much like it, and am excited to be able to make something myself. I originally wanted to make it in an off-white, just like Park did in her model. And that was the plan until I saw this thread. And then I said, no, like this needs to be a vacation vest. So I had some leftover cotlin from Knit Picks in stash. And this is just a cotton linen blend. This is in the colorway Swan that I used to make my bovine tank, also by Park and Knit. And I knit up a little swatch for you guys. And are you ready? Because it's about to blow your socks off. Are you dead? Are you gagged? Because I am. I'm so excited about this swatch of things that are colorful but are not necessarily a color. Like my Noro Very V-neck raglan comes to mind, like that S1 colorway in the, you know, the Noro yarn that everyone uses. It's like, it's so colorful that it stands kind of by itself, and this is the same way that I feel. Obviously this is a little bit different, and I also found the experience of holding this thread with cotton very different from maybe holding a wool and a mohair differently, because those fibers will just automatically stick to themselves and to each other, but these aren't sticky fibers. So that's just something to note. I think it'll just be a different sensation to get used to, but definitely shouldn't be a deterrent if you're thinking about this. And I also noticed in projects that I saw in Ravelry using this thread is that, as you can see, the thread has colors with kind of white pulled throughout, and then I saw when it was matched with a color, the white really came through, which isn't just what I was going for. If you like that, that's cool. But I wanted white in these colors, and I think it's gonna look so cool. I think maybe if I want to have a regular vacation vest, I'll make that too. But this is something I think that can just function as a neutral, like because it has all the colors in it and it's mostly white. So very, very excited about that. I honestly don't know which of these I'm going to cast on first. I also haven't counted these yet, so I don't know if I've actually made gauge. for these projects, but don't they look pretty? I'm so excited about them. Those are the DK weight tank tops I've been thinking about. It would be great to have them done by the end of the summer. I know they're usually quick projects, but I do have one big project that I started and then put aside, and I would like to eventually restart again, and that is the melides dress. In my last inspiration video, I was thinking of just doing a camisole dress where I just knit a camisole and extended it, but then I decided I wanted to put I wanted to put more effort in, and therefore I also wanted to have like a more helpful pattern rather than just kind of like winging it for a very long time, because it's going to be made on like, I think 3.25 millimeter needles is what I have. So enter the melides dress. I've talked about it before, but if you haven't heard me talk about it or haven't seen it, it's a reversible made to measure dress. The sample and the yarn that's recommended is Knitting for Olive Pure Silk. I selected the olive colorway, and I'll talk a little bit more about the swatch in a second. And it is a made to measure pattern, like I said. So it's heavily inspired by sewing and tailoring concepts, but it is knit up. So you knit it back and forth, which is also quite the feat. And then you add a bunch of I-cording and a button band at the end. I talk more about the false start that I had with this project in my latest podcast episode, so check that out if you want a more in-depth look. Basically, I had an issue with gauge for my provisional cast on, so I just tried a new provisional cast on, which I'll talk more about in my next podcast. You can see I have a bit of rowing out where the cast on was, but this is just what the fabric looks like so far. I do want to try to make this, so we'll see how far I get. But I really would like to have this dress in my wardrobe. I think it's stunning. I thought I would have it done by the end of the summer, but at this rate, I think I would have to work monogamously on it, and I honestly don't feel like doing that right now. I'm usually a monogamous knitter, but I'm just really excited by all of this color and all of these yarns that I have, and I'm excited about the idea of having some new tops to wear, and I actually think there's a bigger need for tops in my wardrobe than there is for dresses. So once I ran into this issue, I decided it'll be okay if it doesn't get done. But if you want a really in-depth pattern, I know this pattern is expensive. It is $18 US or 18 euros. I think it was 20 US dollars, which is a lot. Like, that's a lot for a knitting pattern. It's completely worth it. It comes with its own calculator. It goes with you step by step with how to measure your body. You take measurements at 4 different places of your body and then put that in to the calculator. And I will also note that the pattern is currently under testing to expand sizes. So really excited about that dress, and I think it's a fantastic genius pattern made by Knit. I just need to get over my gauge issues and need to get over my me issues before I get started again. So I finally frogged it last night, and I'm ready to restart anew with all my new projects. I think with 4 tank tops in one dress, that'll keep me plenty busy this summer. I also started the wall tapestry project that I mentioned in my spring video, so I definitely think I'll have my hands full. If you want to see how I progress on these projects, I talk about them monthly in my podcast episodes, so you can subscribe if you're interested in seeing those. I rarely do like a call to action because it makes me feel so awkward, but definitely subscribe if you want to see more of my videos. I really appreciate you all being here, and I hope to see y'all very soon, and wishing you all happy summer knitting. Bye!